dookie, here we are. Just left 95 miles on it. Nice non-raining day, one of the first ones we've had. The boys love the energy display indicator. So, got the heating on. 200 miles done, 677 miles on it so far. Quickly then, go, 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 go.
He likes it the best.
And then go up the hill, using all the power. And we've got the usual traffic jams. Of course, we get stuck in the mornings. Okay, just going to show something that's been pointed out to me by someone online. If you see the regen bubbles to the left, they have lines on the outside, which I never really noticed, to be honest. Typically my steering wheel is... I'll try and show it in a closer mode. This kind of explains, well, it makes it clearer how much regen you're going to be getting. So let me just pull in a second. Right. They've got an outer circle. Can you see that? So that one, that one, that one have got outer circles. The other two, you'll never get regen in those until they've got that outer circle. Now that changes depending on your journey. So I presume it's to do with the battery getting depleted, but it did go down to that third one. It's gone back up again, but I think that's because I was going downhill on B mode. So it's kind of explainable, really. I'm going to try and keep it on best I can and show you what I mean, and hopefully that'll come back in. So if I deplete the battery, if I can actually drive now irresponsibly to get the battery down, you should see a second, another ring will go into that. I'll try not to regen. It just wants to regen now. Typical. Alright, ow, bumpy road. Same old bumpy road. Alright, so we're slowly wrecking the car. Right, try not to regen if I can help it. But it's proving very difficult. Right, let's floor it. See if we can get that, link that to the depletion of the battery. Ow, that's bumpy. Some new tyres and new alloys soon. You can see what an effort it takes to get that to that position. I'm at 94% battery now. I still haven't got the option, as it were, to regen to its maximum at all. It's quite a lot to lose, quite a lot of battery power to lose. I don't think you gain that unless you're on the top of a very, very big hill and you come off it at 100% charge. Hey, there we go. Right, so you can see what I'm saying. Still at 94%. I think when I get back to 93%, the last one comes, but I won't film all that. But if I regen, which I can't seem to make it do now I want it to work. Right, let me regen. Let's put it into B mode. I was in D mode. Because it's just happened, I may be able to get that to revert back to losing that bubble, which I did on the way down. But with all the kids, there we go. With all the kids in the car, it's got difficult to film. So it's definitely linked to the power of the battery. So there you go. Thanks to, sorry I can't remember your username, but you pointed me in the right direction there. I never even realised there was bubbles on the outside. So that kind of makes sense. So if you're wondering why you're not getting regeneration, as soon as that bubble appears, second one, you will be able to regen back into that. Also proves that you are actually putting power back into the battery by losing it. So, yep, there you go, guys. Sorry about the wobbly video, but it's all one-handed, of course. So with that regen, what it means is, as far as I can see, the first approximately 10% of your battery, so you get it to 90%, is when the fourth bubble kicks in properly, so you can regen off it. So the first 10% of your journey from 100% is the most inefficient part of the drive, because you can't regenerate that power back. So it's alarming to see the battery drop, but what we're actually saying is it's going to drop faster than any other time, because you've got no chance of regenerating it back, because you can't regenerate it back because it stops, because obviously it's close to full charge, the battery is. And I presume the reason for that is, obviously they don't want to overcharge the battery, but also they must assume the worst. So you start at the top of a very, very big hill where you could actually damage the battery by on full regen all the way down it. It'd have to be a steep, sharp hill, but for, I don't know, a mile or something, or more even, to gain that back. So they must stop you doing it. I don't think you gain 10% back though. It seems that's a lot. I mean, I've gained 3% back. I don't know how long and far the hill would have to be, but I would assume it would be quite a big hill. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame in some respects that it's not directly tied into the battery charge level, because you would think if it drops 1%, you could go full regen on it, and it then cut out again when it gets to 99% or something. You know, not just, no, you can't do it. You can only do a tiny little bit, and it hardly gets any power back. Because I'm at 89% now, I arrived at work, and I'm pretty sure I've got 3 or 4% back on the way down here. So there it is. The start of your Nissan Leaf journey from 100% is the most inefficient part of your journey. So the shocking drop off to start with is completely acceptable almost, because the other 90% of your journey you should be able to drive sensibly. What we're saying is it doesn't matter. You may as well floor it in the first 10%, because you won't. Well, I suppose if you floor it, you'll go less distance anyway because you're using more battery unnecessarily. But if you don't have to worry too much about being an efficient driver in the first 10%. So if your journey is within that first 10%, like mine, don't worry about it. Just drive it with eco off and mess about a bit, I guess. I mean, you can get a tiny bit back, but it's putting next to nothing back into the battery. 10 kilowatts at the most for short bursts. So you're not getting the full 30 back, which you get with full regen, which obviously is like a fast charge almost, isn't it? So yeah, that's interesting. It's funny, isn't it? 2 weeks in and just realising that now. But it doesn't, it does not bother me. I'm not saying it's really a major problem. It's a bit of a shame that you can't use that regeneration, use those hills that I climb up at the end of my journey. So at the end of the evening, I consume a load of power going up the hill to my house, but I can't benefit from any of that effort by going back down and putting regen back into it, because it won't let me, because I'm at 100% charge. Well, it's not actually 100% charge, because that sounds silly if you say I'm at 100%, it won't let me regenerate. I'm not. I'm at 95% charge, and it would be nice to get that 3% back, to be fair, but I can't make benefit of that hill. And then once I get to the bottom of the hill, my journey then is all the way a slow wind uphill to my place of work. So I really do, I'm in that region of, I'm in that spot where I've actually got the worst journey really for the time when it's least economical to drive it, because it's that place where it won't let you regen. So I'm sat right in this place where I can't make benefit of the hill I climbed the night before, because it won't let me regenerate, and the rest of the journey's uphill. And then when I come back home, I can get 3% back and then climb up that hill and lose it all, and then it's 100% and I can't benefit for the next day. Just to where my situation, I suppose, where I'm parked, etc. But I think it's true to say the most inefficient time the car is driven is when it's at 100% charge, or between 90% and 100%. Bye. Okay, just off to Newent, to my parents' place. We've got 89% on the battery charge, so it should all be good and well with the world. I've got no worries about doing this trip. It's starting to become a routine now, so you just get used to it, I guess. It's starting to bed in. You're starting to realise what the car can and can't do. I've got a long trip tomorrow. It'll be the longest trip I've done. It's down to Exmouth, which is quite a way away. So I will need to use the Ecotricity highway, the electric highway, and their rapid chargers. So I'm really hoping that goes alright, but I'll be on my own. I'm going to drop something off at a site I've got a small shop on. So I shall go there, drop something off, and then go on down and see my friend in Exmouth. The small shop I got is in Exeter. So I need to get to that site, and then there's quite a few charge points on the way down, rapid charge points of course, that was a realisation that came to me. It doesn't really matter, that map, Zap map, Yeah, it's good. I'm not criticising that map, but you really got to ignore anything that's not a rapid charge. If you're doing a journey somewhere, if you're en route, it's pointless having a... It's not completely pointless, but yes, you can charge at these other places if they're a 16 amp output, but you've got to prepare to be staying there and presumably you arrive fairly empty. So you're prepared to stay there for about a minimum of 3 hours. Well, more than that, sorry, 4 hours is the 30 amp output. If you haven't got that, and you've got what I've got, I didn't want to pay the £800 on top for that. And to be honest, I didn't realise what it was. I do question whether I'd have bought it anyway. I probably would have done, to be honest, if I'd have known about it and known how convenient it would be. So to go, you'd have a 16 amp output, which is all the choice I've got, so I'd have to be there 8 hours to charge it up if I went in empty. So it's a complete no-no. So the only thing you're interested on the map is rapid charge points, unless you're planning to stay there for a minimum of 8 hours anyway. So, and that's the shortest it can be charged in from empty. So at best 6-7 hours. So they're out the question really. So when you start limiting it by just rapid chargers, your options are significantly reduced when you start viewing where you can travel to. So going down south, that'll be a good test tomorrow, and I'm fairly confident because there's rapid chargers almost all the way down on the exact road I'm on. So and there's actually one in Exeter, and there's a Nissan dealership in Exeter anyway that I could probably go to and rapid charge off that. But of course that one does depend on their opening times. If I have to leave late or I arrive late, I won't be able to use that one. But there's one on the junction just to go off the motorway, so should be okay. That's for tomorrow. So today just going to Newent. I'll come back from Newent, back to work, from work back to home, from home back down. It actually could be an interesting day today, unlike the last 2 days have been fairly low key. I've got to travel back down towards Newent Way, a place called Gorsley, for a game of badminton which I've played for years. Thought I might try and get back into that, which it's not got nothing to do with a Nissan Leaf. Not got nothing to do with, that's terrible English. Hasn't got anything to do with the Nissan Leaf. But that will be, yeah, I'll see what the charge is when I get back home. I'll just report back like I usually do to see how that goes. It's just, you know, that's quite a normal day for anyone. So we'll see where we're at without a charge. I may charge my parents if the garage is free. If it isn't free, I'm not going to get my dad down to come and move his car out and come and park it on the grass and me to move into the garage. Too much hassle. So I shall just go from, if it's free, I'll charge. If it's not, I won't. See how it goes. Okay, just leaving Newent, 74% battery remaining. Didn't charge up as his car was in the garage. So I've actually got to go to badminton later, so it's going to mean quite a few more miles really to do. We're looking at about, let's have a look now. I will pull in and I will work out the miles and then get back to you that I'm expecting to do. Okay, so it turns out I've got to go 9.1 miles back to work, and then from work to home, which is another 6 miles, and then I got to do that other journey again down to badminton, so you're talking another 16 miles on top. So you're talking 32 miles plus another 16, 30, 42, 48 miles. Guessometer is saying 57. So I should be able to do it without any charging. Apparently. Don't believe that, but you never know. So yeah, so that's how many miles I've got to do. I won't have an opportunity to charge. I mean, I could probably get 30 minutes on a trickle charge, which is going to give me next to nothing. So I won't be doing that unless I really don't think I'm going to make it. But I'm going to go on the assumption that with the miles I've got left showing, I should be able to do it. And I will report back later. Surprising how many miles you do when you're just travelling locally without really realising it in a petrol car. It's obviously costing you. It's just more on the forefront of your mind in this vehicle because you can't do that many miles in it. So yeah, interesting. I shall report back later. Now, for people who don't want to potter about electric cars because, you know, you just want to bomb it everywhere and go flat out, this is actually the reality, isn't it? When you actually drive, is the majority of the time it's this sort of thing where you're stuck in a car going 31 miles an hour in a national speed limit area. So it's a 60 mile an hour. I wouldn't recommend going 60 miles an hour up here, but it's a high speed road. It's not restricted to 30, but we're just travelling it 27, 28, 30 miles an hour, and will be for the next mile and a half, 2 miles at least, and we've already been following him for 2 or 3 miles, so it's not a major it's not really difficult driving economically. It's just drive along like this, stuck behind a petrol car, doing speeds which benefit an electric car. Still frustrating though. So my phone's going mad again. Never mind, I shall switch it off now. It's just a thought really that a lot of the time you aren't going 60, 70 miles an hour. You're going this sort of speed, stuck behind a load of traffic. Rather than burning fuel, you're actually trying to maintain it now. Maintain the economy of your car. But we've had nothing but rain. You might be able to see the fog. If I pull the camera back a little bit, you should be able to see the foggy sort of windscreen. There's got to be a way around that. With motorcycles, the helmets now, you don't need to use any anti-fog treatments on them because the visors are designed not to fog up. So I presume, because this is well, either the batteries get better, so you don't need to worry about that, you can have a heater on all the time, or they'll come up with some sort of laminate or something like that to get rid of the fogging on the windscreen, because actually with the heater off it would be no issues at all if the windscreen didn't fog, but as it is, it's fogs up quite nicely, which is a bit annoying and slightly dangerous. So I've arrived back at work with 60% battery remaining. Just want to say really, I mean, with winter, especially British winters, it's like the worst time for an electric car, or specifically for any electric car, but for Nissan Leaf at its current state with the amount of miles it can do. You've got the cold weather, so it took 4 degrees today, makes a huge impact. Well, I'm hoping it does, I'm assuming so. A huge impact on the battery. So in summer you'd expect to see a greater mileage, possibly 20 to 30 miles extra, based just on the fact that it's a different temperature, which is obviously something you can't control at all. So there's that big increase to look forward to in summer. But not only that, you've got your wipers on, you tend to have your lights on, you have to have the heating on, and possibly the air conditioning, because of the amount of fogging you get in the vehicle. So everything's against it. You're consuming as much as you can possibly have, really. You've got everything on that you'd rather not have on. So you've got short days because of the way the clocks change. So you've got dark mornings, dark nights, everything. So everything against it in the winter. You clamp right down, and you're really using the vehicle to its limits, especially if you're driving on a motorway as well. I don't know if the battery warms up more if you're going fast journeys. Don't know. With my short journeys, the battery's not getting warm or anything. I'm not even sure if the battery increases in temperature or if the car will allow it to increase without cooling it. But I have to wonder. I wonder if, if I could afford to and strip this car to pieces. I wonder if Nissan have put the time and development into like the wiper motors, or are they just bog standard wiper motors? Because when they move, it draws about 0.25 kilowatts. You can see it jump up on the graph. And I tried it with a back wiper and it's the same. So you would think they feel strong and powerful. You would think that somehow could be streamlined. Perhaps that's a future update, or perhaps they already are. Perhaps the other one, standard ones draw more power than that, but it's hard to believe. It's a lot of power taking up, especially if it's on all the time. I mean, we're talking, I think since I've had it about 2 weeks now. Almost. One day, tomorrow will be 2 weeks, and I'll do a 2-week review. But it's drawing a lot of power. It's on all the time, because it's hardly ever not rained. And over the course of, so you're talking 68 miles, 70 miles, you're talking it drives for an hour and a half. It's on for an hour and a half. That's a lot of power to be consuming when I think it could be far more minimal and streamlined, all these things. And I see the LED back bulbs. I'm not sure about the front bulbs. That makes a huge difference, as I've shown you in the previous episodes. Turning the lights on, even from the lights, having the lights on to then put them full beam, huge difference. And where we are, country roads, you almost always hardly anyone in front of you. So the high beam's always on, and I've already told you in previous episodes about the risk of turning it down from high beam.
due to a wild boar. So yeah, good driving off high beam to conserve energy, and driving without heating on, which creates fog, like it is now. This car is really, really fogged up. Those two things you can't really skimp on. I'm all for saving energy whilst driving, but the fogging issue, I should take a photograph of it and I'll try and video it as well. What I'm seeing and what I drove back the last 5 miles with is you can't really skimp on it. It's too dangerous. And fogging at night time you definitely can't, because the bright lights coming towards you, just boom, you can't see a thing. So it needs to be on. It would be dangerous to advise to drive with it, you know, without getting rid of the fog. So I'm actually going to try some of this anti-fog treatment today for my journey tomorrow, and I'm going to cover half the windscreen, and I shall try and reveal the results. I should have a perfectly clear windscreen in front of me. As I say, I wouldn't mind having the heating off if there's no fogging. I haven't got an issue with it being cooler than I'd expect. It's 4 degrees outside, and I would guesstimate it's about 14, 15 degrees here inside. I need to get a thermometer, just a temperature gauge, inside, an external one, to see what the temperature is inside. I would imagine it's a respectable 14, 15 degrees, which is cool, I agree, but it's not unbearable. And if it saves you an extra 5 miles on an 80-mile range, then I'm all for that. I haven't got a problem with that. You just learn to live with it, really. And it's not going to detriment your health or anything, is it? It's just slight discomfort from what you're used to. And I'm starting to get used to driving around with it off anyway, apart from the fogging. So I'll try and sort that out. I'll get some anti-fog and I'll cover half the windscreen and leave half untreated and half treated. And I'll come back to you with the results, because I think it should make it crystal clear. Not sure if this shows up, but this is the difficulty we got with fogging. As you can see, the glare off a light is ridiculous. You just cannot see a thing. That is what it looks like if you don't have the heaters on in rainy weather. I've just come from the office into the car, not soaking wet or anything. Okay, I am back home. I've got 50% battery remaining. This journey is going to cut it real fine, really fine. So I'm just going to calculate it up. 50% battery, I usually get 68 miles excuse me, for a battery charge, and I've probably got, so that gives me 34 miles on a full battery, and that's probably about a 34-mile journey round trip. So I'll have a little enter it and see what the mileage is. So you're trying to do things on the go. You've got your route I've sent to my phone, and that is a common error. If I could actually get the camera to focus. Disappeared again. Can't get the camera to focus, unfortunately. No, I don't want to do that. I pressed the wrong button now. Bear with me. Right. So I can't get the stupid camera to focus on this iPhone. Anyway, it's blurred, but I get that problem all the time, which you could probably not read. So I'll read it out to you. So I'm just trying to travel along, trying to do things legitimately. Just sort of drive along, download the route that I pre-programmed in to save me any problems. Telematics communication is currently busy, please try again later. It's like so it happens all the time. I've been trying now for quite a few minutes, just can't get it to work. So I'm going to have to guess my way to the most economical route, because I just cannot download it. It's very frustrating. So I'm leaving to go somewhere that I'm in a rush for. I've planned the route online at home, I've sent it to the car, click download.
Connect to information center.
Now we are 5 minutes into the journey, so I've had to guess a road. I've never been to this place before, so I've guessed a road, and it might be trying to download the thing. It's amazing this camera will not focus. It's quite amazing, really. It's suddenly gone really bad. Hey, it's focusing it, yeah, finally. So it just does this. It's so slow. I'm not sure it's actually going to work now. I'll leave it on actually, just to see. So I got a vague understanding where it is. So I've obviously programmed the route from my computer, sent it to my car through car wings. But at the moment I'm routeless. And I am running on a knife edge here. I haven't been able to charge it up again when I got back home, because I've only got Oh, that's a big old bump. I've only got the trickle charge. That's what I've got. So it would have done next to nothing. It might have added a mile on, something like that, with a small, like 30 minutes at the most to be able to charge it up. So it wasn't doable. But so I'm still routeless at this point in time, and been trying to 5 minutes, trying to get it to get to this stage where it says connecting, and I've got a little bit further forward because I haven't got the error message. It says connecting still. So I presume I'll just go to where I think it is and hope, that will kick in eventually. The time now is 19:29, so I'll turn the camera off to save boring you all to death, and I'll let you turn it back on when it comes on, if it comes on. Okay, this is what I'm going to put up with. I cannot have the heating on. Just can't. My mind, that's what I see. That is what I see when the car comes towards me. So I got 41% battery left, but this is a very fine journey. Possibly, I haven't done it before, so I just cannot risk having the heating on. And honestly, it is bordering on ridiculously dangerous. If I put it on, I don't think I would get home. Don't think. We'll see. We'll see. If we're close to home, I will put the heating on. But as it is, nah, I don't want to risk it at the moment. I do not want to risk it. I mean, I've got, there we go, connection to the centre failed. I have been trying now. Oh man, I've been driving for about 15 minutes and I have not got it to
Connect to information center.
connect to that information centre. It just does not work. I've spanned I spanned about 12 miles, something like that maybe. And all those 12 miles I have not been able to connect right now. It's a problem. I can't really see anything. It's interesting to note that at the very lower part of the windscreen, I can actually see through there quite clearly. Oh, got a bit of a flood here. There we go. Right, I will report back. Still not connected to the data center, so I'm guessing a route here at the moment. And my suspicion, for comedy purposes, I suppose in a not so funny way, is that by the time I get there, it still won't have connected to the data center to download that route, which is a bit of a shame. I'm hoping it will do, but it's already too late really. Anyway, I'm probably 50% of the way through my journey, and it has not connected to the data center. Not the first time I've had this issue with the data center. Whoa, big flood with the data center, but it's definitely an issue when you're rural. No signal, no mod cons. It's actually got to a stage, the fog's got so bad that I just can't see when any car comes towards me. I have to stop, so I'm just going to have to put it on. I'm going to have to clear the windscreen. So I'm going to do that. It's going to pay. It might cost me my journey home. It might cost me. I don't know. So we'll see what I mean. I just cannot see a thing. So I'm going to have to clear the windscreen just for a couple of minutes. And hopefully I will be able to see where I'm going again properly and safely. I hope, but it could cost me my ticket home potentially. Hope not. We shall see. We shall see. So I've had the heating and the air conditioning on for about a minute, 2 minutes at the most. It's enough to clear the windscreen, which is good. It's not cleared the whole windscreen, but it's cleared enough so I can see what I'm doing, which is always a bonus. Funny enough, it still hasn't connected to the data center, and it's 19:43, so it's since I started filming the problem. It's been almost 15 minutes, but I'd been trying 5 minutes prior to that, so it's been 20 minutes with no connection to the data center. And I'm pretty sure I'm almost there. Pretty sure I am anyway. So it's just failed. Just not doing it.
Connect to information center.
I'm pretty sure my arrival space. Oh dear, the roads are covered in. Probably hear it. I think I'm here. I am here, yes. But funny enough, it's it's locked. But I am pretty sure I'm at the right place. Might be slightly early, perhaps. I think I'm 15 minutes early. But no connection to data center. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to park alongside and then come back to this data center thing. So seeing as I've got limited power, I've got the lights off, etc. So we got 33%, 26 miles remaining. It should be more than enough to get back home according to everything I'm looking at now. Should be enough. I mean, even if I put the heating on, it takes then to 26. To be honest, I'm freezing as well. 3 degrees. I'll be obviously a lot warmer when I finish playing badminton. But just turn that off to conserve power. I'm actually gonna. I want to leave this on because I want to. Actually, I don't know if I can turn. I can turn it off, and I'm pretty sure I can press it again. It'll turn just that on. Yeah, so that's all off. That's gone off, but that's back on. Okay. And then what we want to do is go. I can't see the menu, but destination, next page, route planner, download.
Connect to information center.
So I think that up there is, in fact, my mobile phone signal, rather than the phone signal of car wings. But I could test that, I suppose. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll turn my everything off. I'll put it on airplane mode and see if that's still there. And film back. Bear with me. Okay, I turned it onto airplane mode, and surprise, surprise, it was the mobile phone signal, which is a real shame because you could do with a signal indication with this. Well, it's lacking that. You need that there to let you know. I mean, is it not connecting because there's a problem with the data center, or is it not connecting because there's no signal? Mind you, I've travelled, what, 15 miles, and it hasn't connected throughout that whole journey. So I've been trying to connect now for 25 minutes, going on 30 minutes, and it's just failing. It's just not working. It's a real shame. So I haven't been able to download the route to the phone. No major, I suppose, problem. It's not stopping me driving anywhere. But if, mind you, it's only because I know the area. It would stop me driving on the planned route if I was going somewhere I didn't know that one. I mean, I don't know this that well, but I have a vague idea where it was. So I got there okay without it. So. Okay, I'm setting off. I've got 32% battery left, 25 miles. As you can hear, probably the road is terrible. All the roads around here are bad. Anyway, so I'm gonna drive back now. I'm gonna have to drive back with the heating on because it's real fogged up. So it's 25 miles on the clock. Destination, let's see if I can go. Address book. That's us there. See. Okay, let's start this route.
Starting route guidance to your destination.
So it's saying it's going to be 10 miles. 24 miles. Easy. Easy. Surely. Surely. Right, I shall report back if there's any issues, otherwise I'll be at home on the next little bit of video. Bye. Okay. Home, sweet home. Went home with air conditioning on, heater on, and all was well. All fears were not realised. So it got low battery warning, obviously, but you know, I've been in that situation before. Probably another 10 miles, 10 or 15 miles. Probably about right, actually. That I guess it looks about right, approximately. Don't trust it, don't believe it, but it's about right, probably. Let me have a quick look at see if I can get this
Yeah, about 16%, so plenty, really. 10 or 15 miles, maybe more, in fact, on top of that, because that'll be the most I've ever done like this before. From flat, that is, I've done about another 6 miles, so yeah. Comfortably home. Brilliant. I shall show the charging on U Plus Nissan site. How many hours got left to charge. Of course, I'm arriving back late because it's 10:30, so hopefully I can get enough charge for tomorrow morning, because I've got a long journey tomorrow morning. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, this is what I've got left. So it's saying the battery and charging. If I click on there, battery and charging. Battery and charging. 11 hours, 27 minutes. So I don't think it's going to be charged by tomorrow morning, but it might be, because sometimes it's 10:43. 11.5 hours. Sometimes it gets it a little bit wrong and it's almost basically 99% charged by the time it comes to 8:30 when I need to leave. So yeah, it might be okay. So today's trip was successful. No dramas. On the way back, drove in comfort. On the way there to Badminton, not so much comfort, but I think I could have got away with it if I went there with the heating on and back again, just. So yeah, all good today, all good. Little bit of range anxiety, but nothing major.